in very brief way, short way, if you can tell us the step by step approach, how to act, what needs to be followed while applying in these kind of grants. Good evening, everybody. Once again, welcome to another episode of Career Talks. Today, I have somebody very interesting, and today we are going to talk about how to crack a research funding. Well, today I have Dr. Anahita Punj with me, and we will know from her only what she's doing right now and how she achieved a research grant and cracked it and utilized very well in her research project in her career. Welcome, Anahita, and thank you for joining and thank you for accepting my invite today in Career Talks. I welcome you and just tell us about you. We are all excited to know what you're doing right now and who you are and what is your present status of your career.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gargi. I'm Dr. Anahita Punj. I'm a BDS and MDS in periodontology. So I've worked in many places, like not a lot of experience, but I'm just growing. So currently I'm working as a dental officer in ECHS Polyclinic. And before that, like I have some experience in research, and during my post-graduation, I have applied for a grant by ICMR. So I was successful in achieving that. So I think that is a small achievement. So probably this has given me a drive to aim for that again in future as well.
Yeah, I think it's not a small thing. So I didn't know that you did it when you were a postgraduate student. That is what you said, right, Anahita? So I think that's pretty interesting. And I think, what was the grant that you applied for? If you just tell us in brief.
Sure. So I applied for this. There's a grant specifically for postgraduate students for MD, MS, and MDS. But when I applied, it was mentioned as MDMS, and MDS was, I think, omitted, or it was not particularly mentioned. But they had opened it for all masters. So when I got it also, I was a little surprised, and everyone was like very surprised that how come this happened.
So no, that's certain things which really sometimes works out like that. So Anahita, I will just ask you one question which is running in my mind, which made me very inquisitive when I came to know that you cracked this grant when you were a postgraduate student. Generally, that's not the trend set. Rather, it's not a set trend when it comes to dental students, particularly whether it is undergraduate or postgraduate. So what was that thing? I mean, what made you think that you should apply for a research grant, being a student as well? So that is very interesting. Can you just tell us about that?
So actually, I was clueless. I had no idea about research also, like in general. I had only experienced that we could present papers or posters. So that I had done in my undergraduate level. So when I went into post-graduation, I got to know that we have to do something called as thesis. And it was just the start when we had just formulated an idea and we were on the process of making the submission format. And actually, there was a notification which came to, I think, few colleges. And our HOD said that, you see, if you want to apply, and none of us had any clue actually. So they said, you just see if anyone wants to apply. So I read it and then I asked my guide, because that is the usual scenario. Like after HOD suggests, then we have to ask our guide, take the permission. And then there was no guidance as such, like because nobody knew. So this was, I think, the first time in our college also that we were applying. So all I did was I went to the website and tried to search, and it was mostly about medical. So it was a little confusing whether they'll accept it or not. So I did all the paperwork, whatever was required. So, and basically it was aimed at thesis, and there are only 25 slots given in a year all over India.
Okay.
So very difficult and tricky, and there is no set criteria. There are many forms that you need to fill. Not many, but basically your proposal, and if you have an ethical clearance for your study, and there is a letter of intent, or your personal letter, why you want to get this grant, and why do you think that you should get this grant. So all that was everything very new for me. So that was the process, that how I thought that, okay, just like it was like on, I still remember it was on a notice board, that form, and our HOD just said, you see, if anyone wants to apply, and maybe you will get something.
Okay, so I can put it like it is a grant by chance, something like that. Yeah. So, but that's pretty interesting. So let us take it as that it is a grant, grant by chance, which is, something very interesting. But as you said that you as such didn't know about it at all, and also you didn't have any hand holding that way. So I'm pretty sure that once you started doing the process of application, you have faced quite a few of challenges. So can you tell me that what were the three most pertinent challenges that you faced in the entire procedure, not only about the application, and how did you solve it? I think this information will actually inspire, as well as it will be very helpful for people or aspiring students, or who are postgraduate students right now, or maybe in the future, freshers and everybody. So Anahita, really, I would like to know how you handled your challenges.
Yes, surely there were a lot of challenges, because post-graduation itself is a challenge, and on top of it, I have to do this grant. So first of all, I don't know, now the procedure might have changed because many things are coming online, but that time it was all paper-based. So we had to submit some 10 copies, I think, of the proposal. So it was like a bit of something like extra cost that we had to add in. Then that letter of purpose or intent, or whatever you might call it. So that was a little tricky, like what should I write? But I don't know, whatever I wrote was very spontaneous. And when I read it now also, I feel, wow, what I wrote.
Pat on your back.
Like it was very, yeah, actually it was very time bound also, because it was going just side by side. So many things were happening at the same time. So we had to just submit it as soon as possible. And we had the added pressure that, we should not focus much on this, and we should focus on our own curriculum more.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, that was the one issue, that we had to send it by post. I would say that is also one challenge, whether it reaches or not. And getting the reply back, actually, whether because we don't know whether we are selected or not. But the acceptance letter also came by post, and it was addressed to my guide, because you need a guide also for that. So, and me also. Yeah. So, but I'm just thinking, like, what if it was lost somewhere?
Yes.
And because the details were missing in that, because my email ID was incorrectly written in that when it came. So I thought maybe they might have mailed also, and I didn't get it. So that was one thing. Then basically preparing the whole proposal beforehand, like before we could even submit for ethical clearance, we had to do it much earlier, as per the university, much earlier, just to submit for the ICMR grant. Then the third important point is that you have to be very time bound, and you have to keep all the proofs and whatever work you're doing, keep all the bills. That I'm good at, but that is also something that we have to keep in mind, to be very particular about all the bills and what you're doing, all the records. And third most important thing was publication. It was mandatory to publish it in a good index journal. And my guide, actually, I would like to take his name, Dr. Santosh Sinoy. So he was adamant that we should publish this in a extremely good journal, which is Journal of Periodontology. So, which was again something which none of us had ever attempted in our department before. So that itself was a big hurdle. And there was a thing that you have to submit the thesis after completion and the publication within the time period of 3 years. And that takes time.
Yeah, definitely.
And publication is another level, because that was the first time we were doing it. Accepted in a good journal is also very rare, because it takes a lot of time and things. But somehow everything happened, and then while submitting all the records, so again it had to be sent by post. But in between, I had some problem with the communication with the person who had given me, who was allotted, because I don't know, there was some problem with the communication. So I had to keep calling them to confirm about certain issues. But towards the end, when I finished my thesis and everything, they did help me in telling me that, yeah, publication, you can send me you can at least send the acceptance letter, even if it is not published yet. And that is how, and I actually physically went to New Delhi after my course was completed, just to make sure that it is submitted.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think that was very well said. And can you brief this, in very brief way, short way, if you can tell us the step by step approach, how to what needs to be followed while applying in these kind of grants. Maybe we take up ICMR grant only as an example, because that is where your experience lies. So I think it will be very helpful for the audience and for all of us.
Yeah. So first of all, for any grant, I would say first we have to follow the format, whichever they have provided. And based on that only, we can have any research idea or thesis in our mind, or any research project. And I forgot to tell you, yes, budgeting is also important. So you can mention my, actually in that there was nothing like that. They'll give me that kind of money, because the money was fixed. It was 25,000. Which was to be given in 2 installments. But it's okay. That was enough for me for that time. But yes, but we have to project that as well. So we had to run around to see how much it will cost, because my study was something which was not done also. Like I had to, it was related to the relationship between periodontal disease and cardiovascular disease. So I was associating with 2 different departments altogether. So it was really good. And the first step would be the first step would be just to formulate the idea and get it ethically approved from any ethical committee, because that will give you some plus points. And obviously they will consider that it is already ethically approved, and they do have this point also. So you have to prepare a brief research idea and submit a small short proposal. They also have a word limit and a page limit which you have to follow. And you have to include all the material, methods, references, few studies if related to that which you have done. And obviously there is a letter that you have to write that why you should get this grant. And more importantly, I feel it's all related to what kind of research you're doing, whether it is more new, is it related to some field of their, I would say, industry at that point of time. Like right now, I think everyone is focused towards COVID, or maybe I would say saliva and the test, different antigen preparation tests. So it depends on all those factors also. So how that idea, because it goes to many members, what I know, because that is why they ask for so many number of copies. So they all will decide and shortlist, and then they will probably send you the letter. Now I think they have increased the slots. I recently just glanced through it. So they have included MDS also as a part of that thesis grant. And the slots have increased to 50, I think, per year.
Great. And then I think that's a great number. I know.
Yes. And nowadays, I feel even they are giving opportunities to the young students like BDS or MBBS pass outs who are recent pass outs.
Yes.
Not that only BDS.
I know.
So I think
similar like this. I think it's called as I don't remember the exact name, but I think it is like STS grant, where it's for particularly for undergraduate students. And I think there is a format again. You just have to go and first send your brief idea, and then the process starts, like as you said. So I think in the website it is very clearly mentioned. So yeah, that's really nice to know from you. So by the way, so how did you feel when when you understood that yes, you have won the grant, and what was your overall experience right from getting the grant and implementing using it inside your research work? So what was your experience that way?
Actually, it really helped me because it gave me more motivation to complete it on time.
Yes.
And it was very, very like something like I felt very motivated and encouraged. And everyone started coming to me later on asking, what did you write and how did you get it? And I was like, I'm also surprised. So it also acts like some brownie points in your academics as well, because then people are more focused and serious. They take you seriously that yes, you might have done something that you got the grant.
Yes, yes. So Anahita, before doing the application, is was something like you had to do any proof of concept before, like with small samples of your study, or it was just like a proposal only you have submitted? How was it actually?
I actually submitted only the proposal,
All
but
right.
I had gone and checked whether this study can be done or not. Not done many samples, just one or two patients. I did go and do and check it, because my guide asked me like, let's see whether it can be actually done or not, how feasible it is. So I did go to the cardiology department. So we
Good.
had a study where we are checking the dilation of the brachial artery in periodontal disease and cardiac diseases and healthy patients, and trying to find out the correlation.
That is an
So
interesting thing,
yes,
I must say.
yes, actually, it is like credit goes to my guide also, because I really loved the topic. He didn't force me; he just asked me if I was interested, and I was ready to do all the running around. So it was quite troublesome also, but still in the end it actually rewarded me, because
Yeah,
even during my exams I was behind the publication, because repeatedly corrections keep coming, small things, and it can get rejected anytime.
correct.
But I was successful in getting it published in Journal of Periodontology, which is like the best journal that I can hope for in my field.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think with like if you are focused and if you are diligent and you just follow the step by step pathway within the deadline, I think it can be achieved.
Yeah.
So this is to the audience, which I would like to say that here is Dr. Anahita sitting here, who has achieved, who has tried, who has tried her hands. She also did it as a student. She had no guide, just like many of you are there on the other side. So it's not always about being perfect. So it's always about implementation. So some certain things you just have to take chance, and maybe just like Dr. Anahita, it might be a grant by chance for you also. So I think that was very, very inspiring, Anahita, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors as well. And I hope we will see more and more publications in the future from you, and I'm pretty sure that you'll do wonderful work. So, and thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much. I really enjoy talking to you.
Thank you.